At GitGo, we talk a lot about accountability. And the reason is because it really falls in line with our three core values: dig in and own it, provide peace of mind, and do the right thing. The reason why we focus so much on accountability is obviously we are in service to our clients and their overall objectives and goals. But I wanted to kind of elevate this conversation for leadership because one thing that I've found over the years is that holding your team accountable becomes so much easier when they are bought in and aligned with the bigger picture and the why. Why are we striving to meet these objectives? What does that mean for the organization? What does that mean for them as individuals? And once they're bought into the why, they really hold themselves accountable. And then you can really look at, the whole picture. And, at GitGo, what we do is we produce revenue for our customers. Ultimately, the end result has to be booked business and more revenue, whether we're doing a customer service program and building a RFP tool for franchisees, or we are acting as a sales team. We are the outsourced sales team doing end-to-end work for a client. There's lots of different ways, but at the end of the day, the result has to be conversion and booked revenue into the organization. And so, we can put KPIs out there, number of calls, number of emails, touch points, all of that. But that has to really come from backing it, looking at the end result, what we need to hit, what we need to meet, and then backing into those numbers. And if you just give a KPI to a team member that's a number of touch points, they don't see what the end result needs to be. They're not necessarily going to be bought into that. And then holding themselves accountable to that becomes really difficult and weak. And we then start to hear things like, but I put in so much time and energy and effort into meeting the metrics that you've asked me to meet, and I met those. But what the owner, the leader is then looking at is the result, and they're saying, well, we didn't meet the result, so it doesn't really matter. And then there becomes this disconnect with the team. And so I strongly encourage, and I've noticed that this has made a huge difference over the years with GitGo and our team members, is really talking through the why, the bigger objectives and the care abouts, so that when the team is given some, metrics at the beginning of the process that they need to hit, that they really look at it as, will this get us to the end result, right? Because at the end of the day, we're in a results-driven economy, which means it doesn't matter how much time and energy and effort you put into something if you don't reach the result. You could actually do half as much of the work in half as much of the time and get the result. And if the team member does that, then they should be, acknowledged and celebrated for that. They've found efficiencies that are really important to the organization. So it's not just about hitting these small metrics that are given really as indicators of, if we hit those, then we should feel confident that we're going to grow the business. We're going to be able to get to that end result through tackling these early metrics. And if we're not tackling those early metrics, then how are we going to circumvent and get to the end result regardless? That's what really matters. So I hope this kind of spurs some thought for other leaders that are out there that are looking at, holding your team accountable. If you're struggling with that piece and you feel that your team's not holding themselves accountable, it could be because they don't understand the objective and the bigger picture. And if you bring them along the journey and help them understand at that level, I think you'll get a much greater result from your team and bigger buy-in and just a happier team in general.